Hello, everybody. Patty, the Tinker's wife, here in the living room at Tinker's Paradise. Yeah. So I hope y'all are doing really good today. We're having a sunny day here in Oregon, and it's also chilly and windy. So I'm staying inside. So we're gonna sit here in my living room and have a little chat. So thank you for joining me today. For you guys that are new, thank you for coming on over. Um, Before you leave today, please stop and hit that like button, that little thing, like. We like this video. I'm being a dork. So anyway, be sure you do that because that will help support the channel via YouTube, and it's really an easy and free thing to do. So anyway, yeah, and if you don't want to miss anything, click that bell too, because it'll ring for you every time I put up a video, which sometimes is more than once a week. But today is Tuesday, and it's the normal day for me to do a video. I am thinking about changing the day, but I'll announce that when I get ready to. But right now, I got a couple things I want to share topic-wise. One is some things that I've been going through this week. Those of you who follow me on my Facebook page are aware that I have had a rough, tough week. And that week started when plans started being laid down, like plane reservations were being looked at for the shindig. And from that time on, I think that was about Monday or Tuesday, it was probably Tuesday. It was Tuesday. Since Tuesday, the anxiety was just growing and growing and growing. And I was not sure where it was coming from. And I was wondering if there was some date on the calendar that was impacting me. We have these things that we go through, big events in our lives that can send us right into tears sometimes, or right into the dumps. We just remember, subconsciously we remember that, oh my gosh, that's when Uncle Charlie died or whatever. So I couldn't find anything, though. There was nothing along those lines. So I just went through the week and I almost feel like I was on autopilot, because I honestly don't remember much of the week. Anyway, I do remember I went through photographs. I went through all the photographs. I had to get photographs out for my husband's family, his sisters. And there's more upstairs that I can't find yet because they're buried. But we got most of them, and so I'll be mailing those off this week. They'll be very happy to get them, and I'll be happy for them to have them. They were mostly when Ben was little, and that kind of thing. So up until he went into the Navy. So there's some of those too. So anyway, I'm going to be sending those off, and that'll be one less thing that I have to take care of, and they will have their memories with them, and I think that's great. So we'll do that. Let me see. What else did I do this week? Made my first batch of kombucha, and so far it's doing really well. I haven't started the second fermentation yet. That's going to happen here very soon. As a matter of fact, today I'm going to pick up the bottles and get some more fruit for seasoning, flavoring. I'm going to do a raspberry, pineapple, ginger. That's what I've decided to do. I love those flavors together, and I think it'll come out really, really nice. A little tangy with the ginger will be, have the medicinal properties of the ginger, and I just like the flavor of ginger. A little hot there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I also finished a batch of sauerkraut that turned out really, really nice. And so I'm happy about that, and I'm totally just went on a squirrel hunt there, rabbit trail, whatever. I'm going to back around and digress to that anxiety issue I was having. So that was kind of what I did during the week when all this was ramping up. And by Saturday, I was starting to get to be kind of a mess. And it was bad enough that it was hard for me to go to the grocery store, but I had to, so I went, and I just couldn't wait to get home. And I did. I got home, and I was a mess that night, lots of tears. I kept wondering where the grief was coming from. Was this grief? Was it something else? And all the time not realizing that it was anxiety. I was digging in my Bible, praying a lot, doing all those things that I do as a woman of faith, and just holding on and asking God, because I had no idea what was going on. Sunday morning, I went to church, and church was great, and I got some good news at church about something I had seen as a need, and the superintendent, who was acting pastor, agreed and to take it on and to see what he could do to help meet that need. The transitions times, it's always hard. And he has a lot of churches he's over, and he's trying to help out the little church I go to. So it will grow and thrive, and I really appreciate that. But anyhow, that was good news that there's movement that way, and so that the people there will be well cared for. That is my hope and goal in all of this. So I go and I leave, and I come home, and I just, let's see, I made some lunch, and then I just got slammed. All of a sudden, I had no energy at all, and I just wanted to sleep. So I laid down and I slept, and I woke up, and I was just nothing but tears. All I could do was cry, and it was hard. I can't say that enough. That sounds like such a little word, but hard has so many levels, right? So anyway, I made dinner, and which was that meal. Which was, let's see, I went out and I picked greens. They were lovely. That was nice. I went out. I was crying while I was doing that too. Came in, cut up some of them for dinner with some other things, and made a pasta dish, which turned out really, really good and will feed me for a few meals. So I'm very happy. I can freeze some of it, which will be nice. And let's see. And then I got on social media. I just started pouring out my heart. Nothing seemed to be enough. Nothing seemed to be helping. And so I processed verbally, so I started writing on my Facebook page. And I think Sunday morning I posted oh yeah, I know, or Saturday night maybe, I posted something, and Anna over at Mimsy's Garden mentioned it. And it was about my eyes are sore from crying so much, and I've cried so many tears I don't know how there could be any left. But God is faithful, and He did not miss a single one. And that was referring to a scripture that is from the Psalms, and King David was in a he was always in a hard place, it seemed like, but he mentioned that that God catches or gathers our tears in His bottle, and that God would be so involved as to not miss a single one of those million tears I cried. That He was so involved. It was one of those moments where my faith was on solid ground, being able to write those words. And it's that faith that helped me through all this time. But Monday morning, I woke up. Oh, let's go to Monday morning. And talk about a hot, boiling mess. I was mad. I had actually gotten some news at church that was not a happy moment. I was planning on going to the shindig. You can see where this is going if you're listening. I was planning on going to the shindig a month ago. I asked this fella if he could save that time, if he would be willing to watch the house and for a couple weeks and would keep that open for me. And he said, oh, sure, and he mentioned something about work, and we just left it there. And I said, well, I'll let you know more when I know more. So when I started making these plans with the airfare or with my friends that are helping they were going to set up the schedule. I kind of gave them the broad picture of what I wanted to do, and they were going to fill in the blanks because they're the ones that are actually paying for me to come down. This is their gift. They're longtime, lovely friends of mine. I've known for, oh my goodness, 15, 18 years. I've known them a long time. So anyway, they live in the Atlanta area, and they were going to fly me down, and I would be able to go to the shindig, so forth and so on. Well, the moment those plans started being forged, that was when the anxiety hit me, and that was like early last week. It was like a week ago. And so through the week, when I was doing all these other things and having fun and all of that, I just felt it growing and growing. And Saturday night was, oh, it was hard. Sunday morning was off and on hard, and it would go literally like from here to there, and I just had no idea what the heck was going on. And I get home, I get that news from that young man, and it was in front of other people, and I had confronted him a little bit about it, and he made some excuses, and I said, well, you just do whatever you need to do. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'll find somebody else if I have to. And I left it there, and then I went home, and I was fine, and then I really wasn't fine. I was as angry, and not even necessarily at him, but I was just angry that I felt like this. Why did this have to be so hard? Why, in the midst of all that I've gone through and all that I'm going through, why does this have to be so hard? And I mean, I'm crying to God. Yeah, grief can be like that. Life can be like that. It'll send us into these spirals. And I was as deep in the spiral of anxiety as I've ever been. I was in the belly of the beast. And it was every corpuscle in my body was involved. It was, from the toenails to the tips of my hair, it was bad. So I prayed and I cried myself to sleep, and I woke up 3 hours later, and finally I got up at 3:30, cried all through the morning, wrote like crazy, got on Facebook and wrote on Facebook. I listened to Anna over at Mimsy's Garden, and her sharing about my one thing that I wrote about tears, which was a blessing to me that it ministered to her, and I hope it and pray it ministers to others, because God is so absolutely faithful. And I couldn't see what God was trying to tell me. I was, quite honestly, the picture I get of myself, and this is how God works, is through me, is a lot of times he'll give me pictures I can understand about what I'm doing. And I didn't know this until, well, let me back up. I went ahead and I ate breakfast, and I was on Facebook, and a friend of mine messaged when she saw a post that I needed prayer, and that it was just hard. It was one of those posts, if you have a friend that you love, that you respond to with a message. Well, she was that friend, and I gave her a brief version, and then she calls me on the phone and talked to me and mentioned, she goes, well, do you think that maybe God doesn't want you to go right now? Well, I thought about that a month ago, and I wasn't really, I blew it off. I thought, oh, it's a good thing. Everybody wants me to go. They think it's a good thing for me to get away from here a little while, and da-da-da-da. But nothing was working out. And what I didn't know was my friends who were doing the reservations had so many things going that they were even having a hard time getting their feet underneath them with making the plans and trying to figure out how this was all going to work. Because my birthday is April 1st. Now this was going to, my trip was going to run from about the 28th or the 29th through 2 weeks. And this was me flying down to their house, having my birthday at their house, then coming up to Searcy, Arkansas, and then staying at Searcy for maybe 5 days, and then going back to their house, and then being able to do other things, and maybe seeing a friend of mine in North Carolina. So it was like no small feat. We were trying to get me back and forth and everything in between. And they had events for Operation Mobilization that I didn't know about, and their daughter is going on a mission trip, which I knew about, but we didn't know exactly when. So everything was just, whoa, wait a minute. So anyhow, I was going through the the boiling hot mess of deep anxiety and anger, um, and I couldn't figure out still kind of what was going on. After I talked to my friend, I got calmed down, and I had a Bible study I needed to be at 10 o'clock, and I didn't want to go, but I went ahead and went anyway. These women, I've known them for most of them for 30 years, and they are good, solid friends, and they'll speak into my life, and especially my friend Ray, who I adore. She's like the big sister I never had. She's the big sister God gave me, which is even better. So anyway, I unloaded, and people were trying to speak into what was going on, what they thought, and Ray, who's got this way of quietly speaking and grabbing your ear, started speaking by saying, can I share with you my perspective? Of course, that always opens me up. So she did, and as I allowed her to, I released my grip on going, and in my spirit said, God, if you don't want me to go, I won't go, because this isn't worth it. I want to be where God's blessing is. I lived too many years of my life doing things on my own, and him resisting me and not finding blessing. I was being taught that to be obedient to the Lord and to stay near him is where the blessing lies, and that's what I want. I want to please the Father, and I want to be a blessing to others. And if I am not pleasing the Father, I'm a blessing to no one. I can get kind of ugly when I'm doing my own thing. People that like to be controlling. Well, I could be that person really easy. I used to be, and it wasn't, I was still a nice person, but I had those moments. I'm like, man, I didn't even like myself. So anyway, I acquiesced to God and said yes. And the peace I got when I was able to do that was profound. Everything in my body relaxed. I was able to hear what people were saying. And it's just been different ever since I did that. So, I will not be coming to Searcy. I will not be coming to the shindig. So, I will miss seeing everybody there. I will miss you, Anna. I will miss you, Patty Gilbert and Mac. I will miss you, Jariah, and everybody. All of you wonderful YouTubers, Andrea and Ben and your kids. I will especially miss seeing you. And Jess and Maya and your boys. Oh, how I've wanted to meet you all. And God knows this. So I hope and pray that in the right time, he will again allow me to actually make the trip this time and come down there. And maybe it won't be the shindig. Maybe I'll get to make 2 or 3 trips south, and that might be even better. So anyhow, that's what that's about. So I'm just going to leave that there. And then I want to also talk a little bit about what's going on in the garden. I did mention that I was harvesting the collard greens, which are just growing phenomenally well. The crimson clover has grown 6 inches in a week, and in no time at all I'll be needing to take a machete to it. I'm going to let some of it bloom. That's in my raised bed boxes in the back. And those of you who are new here, I will put links up, or maybe I'll put those end page little things up to give you links to those videos. I haven't tried that yet, so we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I will somehow get you to those particular videos so that you can see the beautiful boxes that my tinker husband built for me as a gift. It is the garden blessed even still. So anyhow, I guess that's about it for now. I am only about 77 subscribers away from 1,000. Thank you everybody for helping to make that goal for me. Share away and tell your friends, and be sure to like the video before you leave today. And I guess I'll see you guys in the lives. If I act like I don't remember you, I have a lot of people in here, and you know how hard it is to remember everybody. So poke me. Let me know if you see me in a live. Hey, I'm one of your subs. That's okay. Do that. Or I'm in your community. That's another good thing, because I want this to be our community. This isn't just me sitting here talking. So anyway, I still have taxes to do. That's my one big thing. But the other thing I'm going to do is I want to start doing lives. And I've talked about this for probably 2-3 weeks now. But I'm going to get together with Mimsy and a couple other people and see if I can get some good mods to help me out here and learn the ropes. So be watching, because you never know, it might be this week. So ring that bell so you'll get the notification. But thank you so much for joining me today. I want to thank you very much for your generosity for joining me here. And I will be doing a giveaway when I hit the 1,000 subscriber mark. So at the rate it's going, it might be next week. So you better stay tuned. Anyway, this is Patty, the Tinker's wife, and I want to say thank you again. Y'all are a blessing to me, so I'm going to wish you a fond adieu. Signing off now. God bless.